name is Sarah Poirier, and I am an artistic educator with L'Oreal Professional. Today I'd like to share with you one of my favorite highlight techniques. I will also be isolating a triangular section through the nape to show one of my favorite style trends this season. So this is my model Claire, high school, virgin hair, craving that taste of color. Parents are resistant, so this is why I've chosen the highlight technique that I'll be showing today. It will be heavy through the back and sort of a balayage technique through the front. Today I've chosen to use Measure Blonde Ultra 900S, which mixes with Measure Cream 40 Volume Developer. This is a color that mixes at a ratio of 1 part color to 2 parts developer. I will be using the full tube today, which means 50 mils of color to 100 mil per developer. Always being sure to use a scale or this mixing bowl, which I love. Much more efficient when you're in a rush and you need to remix, or you only need a small amount, or if you don't want to do the math of the scale. Brushes mixing bowl. I will be using along the front a freehand technique using this comb, which lets you comb through with ease, blending the color, being sure not to have any line of demarcation. Lots of clips, sectioning clean sections. Timer, of course. For this service, I will be using a combination of Easy Mesh mixed with Sweet Mesh. When my service is complete, we will process for 50 minutes, rinsing with 2 shampoos of L'Oreal Pro Classic Post Color Shampoo, followed with Blonde Shine Cream. Okay, now that I have my color mixed, my Easy Mesh and my Sweet Mesh all on hand, I'm ready to start. Leaving the triangle isolated, I'll be starting at the hairline with a highlight using 1-inch sectioning, working my way up to the occipital bone where I will widen my sections. As I approach the crown, I will eventually fade off the highlights, finishing at the top. When I'm finished, we will move on to the front using more of a balayage technique to keep it softer and more of a root look. I'll be working the highlights up on an angle, curving as I get to the top. I always like to make my clients work for me when I'm using Easy Mesh. It keeps it a lot faster. You like working, Claire?
Sure.
Taking a nice fine highlight, getting nice and close to the root. I take the Easy Mesh and I go up under the hair, getting nice and close to the hairline. If I find there's a gap, like sometimes happens, we start over with a nice clean section. Sometimes with the static, that can be an issue. Again, getting nice and tight and close to the hairline. Stretching the hair out, cleaning my brush. I like working as close as I can, and I can trust in my Easy Mesh that it will hold the hair nice and tight with the sticky base. I always fold it in half and secure it with a curl clip. Now that my back is complete, the highlights have ended in the crown, I'm working my way to the front and side, switching to more of a balayage technique. With balayage meaning to sweep, I'm going to take sections on an angle, having the blonde frame her face, saturating the ends, and working my way up to the top. When I use this technique, I like to take it on an angle. Use an angled brush. If you do not have one of these brushes, you can always cut one of these in half. Just sort of highlighting the areas the sun would hit, where you really want to see that highlight show. Being sure not to leave any blotches throughout the hair. If that is to happen, That's where this comb comes in, and you smooth it down through the hair. When I use this technique, underneath and onto my next section, pulling it out, taking cotton if I need be, and letting it drop so there will be no bleeding. Our 50 minutes is complete. Her color is ready for washing. Now that Claire's color is complete, I've sectioned out the triangle that we isolated earlier on, and we will be shaving it off, giving her a few carvings that she can leave with something fun. When she pulls her hair up, there will be tons of highlights, lots of golden blonde with a fun shave and carving tattoo in the back. You can use scissor over comb or clipper, whatever you prefer. To style Claire's hair, I will be spraying P Volume 4 through her roots, working my way down the ends, finishing off with a dab of Bliss Control through her ends and around the front of her hairline where the frizz tends to pop out.
I can